Gas boilers. Yes, gas boilers. One of those things which most households here in the UK rely on for hot water and heating. Now, obviously we have talked about sort of in depth on previous videos about the Agenda 2030 to reduce carbon emissions, etc. And gas is on their list. So we are going to read on. Do you remember me saying in numerous videos, now whatever comes out publicly in the mainstream media or from the government, it's literally the reverse of what they are saying. So I'd like you to listen to this article which dropped 17 hours ago today. Okay, penalties for homeowners. Sticking with gas is no. Rip out your boiler plan, insists minister. Okay, we are not forcing anyone to remove gas boiler. I should say gas boilers. Says Energy Secretary Grant Shapps. Okay, so we read on. Cabinet Minister Grant Shapps said the government's new green powered strategy was not to rip out your boiler plan, despite measures to encourage households to move away from gas. The plan by Rishi Sunak's government confirms measures aimed at making it cheaper to buy and run a heat pump rather than a traditional gas boiler. Now, as soon as you hear that, alarm bells should be ringing. If they're not ringing, you need to look into it. Now, what is the difference between gas and these heat pumps? Okay, well, guess what? Gas is very difficult to isolate to individual properties, whereas a heat pump, which will be connected to the smart grid system, will be very easily to turn up, turn off, or turn down without your consent or knowledge, or your consent. So straight away, that is a big flag from how I see things. And the strategy also confirms that the government wants to rebalance gas and electricity costs, which would cut the cost of electricity at the expense of gas. But Mr. Shapps insisted we're not forcing anyone to remove their gas boilers, saying that the government expected homes will move from gas to cleaner energy over the next decade or two. The Energy Secretary told Sky News, "We all know that electricity can be a big way to decarbonise." Yes, we spoke about carbon before, okay? We read on. But we also know that there are big changes. So this is not part of a rip out your boiler moment. This is a transition over a period of time to get to homes which are heated in a different way and also insulated much better. The government proposed to move existing green levies from electricity prices over to gas prices. So they do not penalise those using electricity, which is much less carbon polluting than gas. Much less carbon polluting than gas. The levies make up around £131 on an average average annual electricity bill, and only £34 on gas bills. Interesting. The government also extended the scheme, offering £5,000 grants. Now, grants is a word you need to understand, towards heat pump installation to 2028 instead of its previous 2025 cutoff. Now, that tells me that we are making progress in literally not complying with this scheme. They've had to put it back. So I see a victory there just in that statement alone. Mr. Shapps admitted we're in for low numbers still of heat pumps, with only around 42,000 installed last year, and there are technical issues that people are having to deal with in order to meet the switch over. The minister admitted he does not yet have a heat pump. Funny that. But said workers will come to survey his house this month. Sort of living the dream, as it were, or I'm hoping to, he told the news. The Green Energy Plan unveiled by Mr. Shapps and Chancellor Jeremy Hunt. It's like slip of the tongue there. Yesterday to power up Britain. fleshed out more details of an existing £20 billion investment in carbon capture and storage, which is CCS technology, and £160 million for infrastructure to help expand offshore wind. It just gets more bonkers as you read into this stuff. Right. However, the package was criticised by opposition parties and environmental campaigners as little more than a half-baked rehash of existing plans. Labour, don't forget, there's two wings from the same bird. Labour and Conservative, it doesn't matter who's talking. Okay, they're talking gas. Excuse the pun there. Labour claimed it amounted to reheated policy and no new investment, accusing the Chancellor of waving the white flag in the global race for green jobs. Shadow Secretary Ed Miliband. Remember Ed Miliband? Other countries are matching the ambition of the US. UK businesses say we must, but Tory dogma says no. The MP said Britain can't afford a government that will make us losers in this race. So this is exactly the same narrative and exactly the same strategic verbiage which they've been using for years. It's almost like, well, we're falling behind. We need to catch up with other countries. We need to do what other countries are doing. Do we really? I mean, I would like to think that this country should be a sovereign state. We should be entitled to form our own laws, our own views, and do our own thing. It's got nothing to do with any other country. That's just my input there. Dr. Paul Balcombe, Senior Lecturer in Renewable Energy at Queen Mary University of London, said the government's target of insulating 300,000 out of 20 million homes is clearly insufficient when we have such a poorly insulated housing stock. Wow, there were plenty of houses, but some of them have migrants living in now. Mike Childs, Head of Policy at Friends of the Earth. Another crooked party, I hasten to add. These policies are looking dangerously lackluster and lacking of climate action. Climate scientists, I can't believe I'm reading this. This is complete BS. It really, really is. Climate scientists have also warned that carbon capture and storage, CCS, technology is yet to be proved and encourages continued fossil fuel exploration, urging the Sunak government to stop licensing new oil and gas developments. I could just read on and on and on and on and on, but listen to this. Like I said in a previous video quite a while ago now, when I was a facilities manager of this site I worked in a long time ago, I had a guy come round to service the server room with the air conditioning system. And when he took one look at our gas boiler in the corner of the building, which literally heated up the water for the entire facility, he smirked and shook his head. And as he went through the door and we continued our journey to the server room, I said to him, "What was the matter with that boiler?" And he said, at some point in time, they're all going to be obsolete. Everyone will be made, yes, his words, made to go over to these heat pumps. Okay? And I said, what's a heat pump? It's exactly the same as one of those air conditioning units. All it does is it reverses the process and blows out hot stroke warm air instead of cold cool air. I thought, I don't like the sound of that. He said, yes, I know. He said, but at the end of the day, he said, that's what's coming down the pipeline. And this was a proper registered gas engineer and also air conditioning engineer. So he knows both sides of the story. And this was told to me for a good 7 years ago now. So, and look where we are. We are seeing government officials and all of the mainstream media say, no, there's nothing to worry. We're not going to make you get rid of your gas boiler, etc. No. But guess what? They are going to make it very expensive for you to continue to use your gas boiler. They are going to make you feel that so bad that you are contributing to the climate change agenda. Yes, you are still running a gas boiler. You are contributing to all this pollution and all of this crazy weather which we're having, which incidentally is completely modified by human and technology. Okay, if you don't already know about that, it's a big rabbit hole, but yes, it is very, very easy to manipulate the weather anywhere in the world at any time. And yes, don't forget, these people have access to unlimited funds and unlimited minds, and they can all be bought into that organisation to propagate this agenda via compartmentalisation. If you don't know what I'm saying, type in the words and start educating yourself. Some of us know, most of us don't. This is why I'm here to educate and help and share this information to get out to as many people as possible, so we can see the scam coming down the road. So yes, if you do have a gas boiler, do whatever you can to keep it, because they want you to go onto electric, and they want it to be an IoT, which is an Internet of Things item, which will be plugged into the smart grid at some point in the near future. And yes, it can be controlled and it can be adjusted remotely without your consent or say so. So be very careful about anything coming out about gas. Look into it, and usually it's the opposite of what they're saying, like I've just tried to demonstrate on this short video. If you need to leave a comment about this, you're absolutely more than welcome and free to do so. If you want to take it further, please send me an email and I'll do my very best to get back to you. And if there's enough emails about this topic, I'll endeavour to do an update video based on this topic. You guys take care, thanks very much for watching, and stay funky.